So just to
All right.
start off really simple, what topics were trending nationally in April?
So in April, we saw a lot of interest in the Grammys, Earth Day, the NBA playoffs, and a whole bunch of other things.
All right, awesome. And do you have any information about maybe what be trending in our readership area? We cover South Central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so what we actually saw is there's generally a lot of search interest in topics around sustainability, particularly as it relates to Earth Day, recycling, people looking for recycling banks near them or places where they can go for farmers markets and different electric vehicle charging stations. So those were the things that were of the most interest to people in the state.
That's awesome. So are any of the Google Trends, are they broken down by demographic at all? So what were young people searching for, old people, men, women, things like that?
Yeah, so Google Search Trends data is aggregated and anonymized. You can break it down across different regions, but it wouldn't get that granular as to different types of demographic. So in terms of what I can say in terms for Pennsylvania interest, I know that people, when it came to Earth Day, for example, were really, really interested in finding used clothing stores near them. And that doesn't break down who was searching for that, but it shows that people in the state were interested in those types of searches.
Awesome. And that's great because we've covered a lot of sustainability topics and we've kind of started a series with that. So that's awesome. So what trends did you notice about the trends? Meaning, were there any things that carried over perhaps from the month of March or that have been trending just this year?
Yeah, so what we saw over the last kind of month that is always really, it's a recurring theme. People, when it came to topics like, well, news topics like Ukraine, a lot of people were looking for ways to help. And we've seen that since the beginning of that news item. People are looking for how to help Ukraine from the US. They were looking for how to help donate, how to help refugees, how to help animals in Ukraine. So that's been something that we've seen over time, which continues to be a trending item.
Awesome, thanks. And going back a little bit to like things that have been trending nationally, could you talk a little bit about breaking down what exactly people were interested in about the Grammys and some of the main national trends?
Yeah, no problem. So when it came to the Grammys, there was a lot of interest in Olivia Rodrigo. She was the most searched Grammy performer during the Grammys. People were also interested when the show was happening in different lyrics. So one of my personal faves, Justin Bieber's "Peaches," was one of the most searched for lyrics during the show. People are looking for Billie Eilish, "Happier Than Life," and also "Driver's License" by Olivia Rodrigo.
Awesome, thanks so much. Um, yeah. So in terms of sustainability, did you see anything, in South Central Pennsylvania? Were there anything, or you guys have access to specific stores or anything that anyone is looking at?
I think broadly speaking, we looked at Google Maps data as well, and we found that people are looking for donation centers near them, as well as, farmers markets, as I mentioned, and used clothing stores. I think those were kind of trending generally across the country, but because it's more localized in terms of what's near them, you can see some interesting tidbits there. And obviously, when it comes to Google Trends information, you can go on google.com/trends, and you can play around and figure out what's happening and trending in and around the US, as well as in different parts of the world.
Yeah, and I think that, obviously climate change and what's happening in Ukraine, even though they seem like kind of unrelated topics, they kind of, go hand in hand in a way because in terms of whether you're donating to help save the planet or you're donating to maybe help people in need, that all kind of goes in line with sustainability. So I think, from speaking with you, we got a few story ideas about maybe more information on people and lists of donation centers and things like that. Especially lists tend to do really well on our website. So thank you. I
Yeah,
know this was kind of short, but honestly, thank you so much for speaking with me.
no problem at all. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye bye.